A small cylindrical object skittered ahead of the Harley's front fork. Eyes suddenly wide, Jack leaned over left, pushing the bike chassis between himself and the exploding stick grenade. A blinding flash and explosive roar accompanied the sulphurous smoke as gravel and metal shards shredded the Harley's undercarriage and tore open the radiator on the pickup. The motorcycle flipped side over side, but Jack kicked free as it did, rolling parallel to it. Even so, the front fork impacted his left shoulder, and he grunted in agony as it wrenched out of its socket. A second explosion lifted the pickup truck a foot in the air and dumped it on its side. Windows shattered, a small fire igniting under the engine compartment. Jack groaned, flailing in an effort to sit upright, but only able to scoot along the dirt path, left arm limp and devoid of feeling. He watched as the Curtiss did a backward wing-over and nosed down toward the orchard, shots ringing out from the pistol in the pilot's hand. If Jack was going to check on Leo and Sarah before the fire spread to the gas tank, it would have to be now, while Wings was running interference. The diving plane traded gunfire with the agents in the Walnut Grove. Another flare lit up the orchard from the ground. Staggering to a vaguely upright position, left arm hanging at his side, Jack trudged to the overturned Ford and peered through the shattered windscreen. Frustrated, he tore the goggles from his head with his good hand. Leo lay crumpled against the passenger side door, unconscious. Jack stumbled around the truck's front end to the rear window of the cab. He was pretty sure he could get Leo out through that, if he could get his shoulder back in place. Scanning around the trail side, he saw the slumped form of Sarah Chin about 20 feet away from the truck bed. She'd either been thrown clear when the truck flipped or in the midst of a hasty exit and knocked down in the explosion. Order of operations, he thought. Shoulder, Leo, Sarah. Facing the sideways cab of the pickup, Jack clenched his jaw and leaned his loose arm against its steel roof. Then he threw his entire weight forward, forcing the ball of his shoulder back into its socket. A sobering wave of pain washed over him, and he screamed through gritted teeth. Feeling returned to his arm in waves of pinpoints. Scrunching his hand repeatedly into a fist to accelerate recovery, he yanked the right pistol from its holster and smashed the Ford's back window. He ran the barrel of the nickel-plated Colt around the frame, clearing the broken shards of glass before replacing the pistol at his hip. The fire was spreading from the engine compartment, smoke beginning to pour into the cab. There was no good way to do this. He was making an executive decision and risking possible further damage to Leo's spine in order to save him from burning, if he was even still alive. Crouching slightly to get a better grip on the man's jacket, he hauled Leo headfirst through the back window, dragging the unconscious body to a spot next to the motionless form of Sarah Chin.